thank you all for being part of this discussion. So I'll just quickly pose the first question to Colonel Saab. The problem that we are noticing is that a lot of people are raising questions about this entire operation, both internally and externally. When here in India, when the Balakot strike happened after the Pulwama attack, people posed this question: Did we really go into the LOC and did we go beyond LOC and strike POK? Did we strike any terror camps at all? Was the first question. Here, we are showing satellite imagery of 9 terror camps being destroyed, following which we are showing drone attacks that were carried out on the military infrastructure of Pakistan. Yet, international media is playing down India's victory in this Operation Sindoor. The other thing is that Pakistan's victimhood, where it always says that it's a victim of terror rather than a country which is the export of terror, it is being turned into victory. Pakistan is an expert at turning defeat into defiance as well as victimhood into victory. So the first question, Colonel Saab, we as Indians, what must we take from the Operation Sindoor, and why is it important for us to be vocal about the victory that we have achieved from Operation Sindoor?
Jai Hind. We are proud Kannadiga and a proud Indian. I was commissioned in the army in June 1963. Can you hear me at the back? At the age of 18 and a half years. Commission means a class 1 gesture officer, 1 star. I was a captain with 3 stars at the age of 21 during the 1965 war. During the 1965 war. I'm an engineer, a BTech. 1970, I became a major, and 71 war, I took part in East Pakistan. I became a lieutenant colonel, a superintending engineer in 1982, and additional chief engineer in the rank of colonel in 1986. I served the Indian Army for a period of 33 years and 4 months. All that I want to tell you is, life in the army is one of challenge and adventure, a life of honor and dignity. Now I want to take on my good friend Arvind's question. Let us be clear that India has never had peace with Pakistan right from day one. Not because India does not want peace. It is not that India does not want peace with Pakistan. It is because the Pakistani generals, they do not want peace. Because the day we have peace, the Pakistani generals, the Pakistan army would become irrelevant. Now, before I come to Op Sindoor, we had the 1971 war, where we inflicted an ignominious defeat on the Pakistan army. The Pakistan army surrendered to us at Dhaka in East Pakistan with 93,000 prisoners. That was a moment of glory for the country and of course the Indian Armed Forces. Now, there is a saying, never hit a snake and leave it injured. It comes back to you with renewed vigor, and that's what has happened to Pakistan. So, we had a glorious chance to get back POK in 1972. All that was required was when Bhutto came to India, Shimla, for talks with Indira Gandhi, she had to tell him, you vacate POK, we shall hand over 93,000 prisoners. And if you don't hand over POK, they all will die here, your 93,000 soldiers. Had she only insisted, we would have got back POK then. A problem started by her father, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, would have ended by his daughter. Unfortunately, that was not to be. And that is, in spite of Field Marshal Sam Manasseh, the then Chief of Army Staff, he had advised Madam Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister, saying that Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, the Prime Minister, is a wily guy. On no account should you return this 93,000 prisoners. Insist on return of POK and then only return the prisoners. Unfortunately, Madam Gandhi did not listen to her Chief of Army Staff. Now fast forward. Pakistan, as they say, is an epicenter of terrorism. They have been sending terrorists into this country from time to time. And we have been responding to that. The latest being the attack at Pahalgam on 22nd of April. A most heinous attack on where the Pakistani terrorists, they killed 26 civilians, tourists, on the basis of their religion. So our Honorable Prime Minister had promised retribution, revenge, and that did happen on 27th of May this year. 7th of May this year. We must understand what are the objectives of Op Sindoor. Why did we not go in for an all-out war? We did not want all-out war. We just wanted to punish those perpetrators and teach Pakistan a lesson. Our objectives were very clear: to destroy the terrorist camps in Pakistan. And as my good friend Aravind has correctly brought out, we destroyed 9 of their terrorist camps deep inside Pakistan. Let us make no mistake. Today we are endowed with a dynamic Prime Minister who has given a free hand to the Chiefs of the Army, Navy, Air Force to plan Operation Sindoor and to execute it. So, our 3 chiefs took their own time to launch Operation Sindoor on 7th of May this year. So, our aims were very clear: to nullify those terrorist bases. Next, when Pakistan retaliated again, we had to once again avenge that. Today, this country's might in terms of air defense is quite formidable. So we launched our BrahMos missiles and various other missiles. One, to counter their drones. Not one of their drones has managed to hit our Indian soil. Each one of them have been destroyed mid-air. That should tell us about our advancement in science and technology, especially defense. Secondly, they fired number of missiles. None of them were successful. We successfully countered each one of them. Next, we fired our BrahMos missiles. We penetrated their radar and we destroyed their number of airfields. We destroyed their airfields. So, when we say, why did we stop? As again rightly brought out by my friend Aravind, it is Pakistan which went to US, and when the US tried to intervene, We said, ask the Pakistani generals to come to us. So the Pakistani general came to India, begged for a ceasefire, and that's how it took place. Not that we ceasefire. They requested, they begged, and that's how we went in for a ceasefire. With the caveat that Op Sindoor has just been paused, it's not been brought to an end. Any such attack in future will be construed as an act of war, and we shall go full blast. Does that answer my question?
Thank you, Colonel Sir, for that very wonderful and detailed answer, where you explained what exactly India achieved and how this was a morally just and measured response to Pakistan-backed terror. Here, from what you have said, it makes it clear that India was the victor. But why is it that we need to explain this to people, and why should we be gathered here in a hall and try to explain it to people that this is what India has achieved? What could be the bigger game at play here, which is trying to deny India's victory in Operation Sindoor?
It's rather sad that people within the country, especially people from our opposition parties, Congress and others, they question the very success of our strike in Pakistan, whether it was Operation Balakot or it is now. Well, I have only one word for them. They are Desh Drohis. And this country, the leadership, present leadership, does not have to go around explaining to them again and again. So, it is in their blood to question any victory or success by the Indian armed forces. So there's no point trying to explain to them. Best is to ignore them. So far the West is concerned, we must understand the West has never been India's friends. Right from 1947 onwards. The Americans, they sided with Pakistan from day one. Pakistan was made a member of their various treaties, Seattle, Cento. And while the Americans supplied wheat to us in the 60s, they supplied arms, Patton tanks, fighter jets, everything to Pakistan. Yet, during 65 war, with our vintage tanks and weapons, we still managed to beat the Pakistanis. We destroyed Patton tanks, and about 80 of them we gathered in a place called Patton Nagar, a graveyard of Patton tanks. So, next came 71. I don't have to go over it again. We inflicted a defeat which they should remember for a lifetime. But, as is the habit of Pakistanis, they keep saying that they are the ones who won. Well, not. So, coming back, the Western countries, the Western media, they are never happy if India does well, if India succeeds. You would remember the Americans imposed sanctions and denied us science and technology, whereas India stood their ground, stood up. We developed our Param computers, very advanced ones. We developed our cryogenic engines. Today, the ISRO has sent rockets to the moon. We have sent a rover to the moon. We have sent a satellite circling Mars. So, and in defense, our DRDO is doing such a great job. Our missiles, our guns, our tanks. So, we as a nation, you and I, ought to be proud of all our achievements. And I must say, I am 81 years young, and I would like to say The future of this country is in your hands. And I have no doubts that you people, the younger generation, are going to take this country forward and make it number one in the world. So, all that I can tell you is, let us not get worried about West not wishing us well. The West not giving us credit for Op Sindoor. Even 71 war, the Americans were on the opposite side. It is thanks to the Americans who are supporting Pakistan that 3 million Muslim Bengalis or Bengali Muslims in then East Pakistan were butchered. And I'm sorry to say, more than 2 million Bengali women, Muslims, they were molested, to put it in mild terms. So, and today the same Bangladesh today is an enemy of India. Well, that's how life is. They have forgotten what we did for them. We are the ones who liberated them. Yet today they have turned against us. Well, these things happen in the course of history. Let us stick to our path. Our path is path of dharma. So, we fight for dharma. And let's not get worried as to what the other people say. As long as we are strong, both economically and militarily, and we follow the path of dharma, nobody can touch us.
Thank you, sir. In your first answer, you had said about snakes. And former US Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, she had to say the same thing about Pakistan. But this is what she said, which is something that is holding true even today. If you nurture vipers in your backyard, then one day they will come back and bite you. And having referenced that to Pakistan, today we are faced with this question. Is it not possible to reclaim POK because it wasn't done in 1971? However, given the success of Operation Sindoor, why didn't India try to reclaim POK, which is rightfully ours, at least now?
I'll explain to you what was the aim of Operation Sindoor. The aim of Operation Sindoor was to teach Pakistan a limited lesson that to destroy their terrorist bases. And having brought Pakistan to its knees, for it is the Pakistani general who begged for peace, rang up our Indian Army General. He is called the DGMO, Director General, Military Operations. So he begged him for ceasefire. So to that extent, we achieved whatever we have wanted in Operation Sindoor. Next question, posed by my friend Aravind. Why didn't we go after liberating POK? Well, that was not the aim of Operation Sindoor. Now, as I said, Pakistan and India can never live in peace. If you want peace in India, I'm afraid you have to destroy Pakistan. And today's world, to go in for an all-out war with Pakistan, to destroy Pakistan, may not be easy. So, pushed to the wall, Pakistan would definitely use its nuclear button and unleash their nuclear weapons. But we managed to call off their bluff of nuclear blackmail this time. So, every nuclear missile they fire, we are today quite capable of halting it and destroying it in mid-air. But there's a better way of doing it. Next, when we talk of POK, any war will not get limited only to POK. Next, you must understand, POK is not what it looks like on the map. It's a mountainous region. It's a forested region. It's a cold place. So, it is not a cakewalk that you go, attack them, win over them. So, it is not an impossible task. All the same, it's a difficult task. But when you can achieve that by breaking Pakistan by other means, why not look into that? Today, Pakistan is in turmoil. The Balochis, the people of Balochistan, they are up in arms against the central government of Pakistan. With the Pakistan, you must know who runs Pakistan. Pakistan is run by the Punjabi Muslims. So it has got, as of date, four provinces. The Sindh, Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab. And of course, they call it Azad Kashmir, which we call as Pak-occupied Kashmir. So, the Balochis are fighting for their independence. The Sindhis have their own grievance, they want Geo-Sindh, independent country. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pathans and Pushtos, they do not want to be part of Pakistan. So what is India doing? We must go all out to encourage these elements, rebel elements in Balochistan, Sindh, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and make friends with the Afghans. The Afghans and Pakistan are at loggerheads. The Afghans, they do not recognize the Durand line. So, that being the case, we must take advantage of the present situation in Pakistan and do whatever we can, and in a very, very serious manner, support the independence of the Balochis, the Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Let Pakistan break on its own, which will happen soon. But if we keep sitting and say break on its own, it's not going to happen. We have got to take an active part. And we are aided in this. Pakistan today is a nation in debt. They are not in debt up to this. They are in debt above their head. So, they are in total debt. They are a nation of beggars. They keep going and begging from China, Saudi Arabia, other Arab countries for money. So, they cannot last long. So, this is the ideal time to encourage all the rebels in Balochistan, Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, make friends with Afghanistan and see that Pakistan breaks into 4 pieces. So that's how it should be done. And when that happens, POK will automatically fall in our lap. We'll be able to take over POK.
It was so wonderfully put, sir, and I am sure the students here appreciate that you gave such insights about all the provinces of Pakistan as well as explain what is happening in Balochistan in your detailed answer. There were some interesting statements made by Prime Minister Modi in his address to the nation. Many of you might have followed it. The one thing that stood out, and because of it many questions rise, he said, terror and talk won't go hand in hand. Trade and talk will not go together. And the third thing, blood and water will not flow together. Here, he is indirectly referencing the Indus Water Treaty that India has with Pakistan. As a fallout of the Pahalgam terror attack, the Indus Water Treaty has been put in abeyance. What significance does this hold? As well as the other question that I wanted to ask is, nuclear blackmail of Pakistan was also referenced in this particular statement. What was this nuclear blackmail that India was so afraid of, that the international community kept on urging India to maintain peaceful negotiations with Pakistan? So these two queries. What is the significance of the Indus Water Treaty being put in abeyance, as well as why must India be so considerate of this nuclear blackmail of Pakistan?
Unfortunately, India as a nation, we have been gulams, slaves, for over 1,200 years. First of the Muslims, next of the British. So we are yet to get over our slavish mentality. It's time that we as a nation, our people, you and I, take pride in our being an Indian and stand up for what is right. So, right from 1947, when Nehru was the Prime Minister, we have always been defensive. When the then Maharaja of Kashmir, Hari Singh, at the time of partition, he neither opted for Kashmir, neither opted for Pakistan, nor opted for India, but wanted to remain independent, which was not possible those days, because at the time of independence, it was agreed that all the Rajas, Maharajas will have the option to join either India or Pakistan. Jammu Kashmir, though being a Muslim majority state, the Maharaja, he had the right. And so, when attacked by Pakistan, he opted for India at the last moment. When the Pakistan soldiers were at the gates of Srinagar. The moment he acceded on 26th October 1947, 27th of October 1947, Indian Army flew into Srinagar, Badgam airfield, and the Pakistanis were only 6 miles away from Badgam airfield. The moment Indian Army was pumped in to Kashmir, we soon went on the offensive. Can you hear me at the end? So, and we started driving the Pakistanis out of Jammu Kashmir. So we were on the offensive and they were on the run. And it was just a matter of time, we would have driven all the Pakistanis to Jammu Kashmir. Unfortunately, the Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, he went to the United Nations for a ceasefire. When two countries fight, who asks for ceasefire? The man who is losing or the man who is winning? Please tell me. Losing. So, at that time, India was winning. We had an upper hand. We were driving out the Pakistanis. It is strange that our Prime Minister went in for a ceasefire. And he also went in for a plebiscite, which was never discussed anywhere. So, and that was the start of the Jammu Kashmir problem. So, where was I? No, that was Indus Water Treaty. Then we went in for the Indus Water Treaty. Unfortunately, it was a one-sided treaty. We gave all the advantage to Pakistan. We never kept anything for ourselves. So, again, it's a mindset which we have to overcome. In this world, unless you are aggressive, nobody is going to respect you. So, a meek nation is only going to be kicked around by a small country like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, even Nepal. What a shame. So it's time we stood up. So coming to Indus Water Treaty,
thank God, our Prime Minister, this government, realized that we can teach Pakistan a lesson. So they stopped the water. They put the Indus Water Treaty in abeyance, on hold. You'll soon find the rivers in Pakistan running dry. It will affect their agriculture, food. As it is, they don't have food to eat. So all this will have an adverse effect on the economy of Pakistan. Would you like to come and talk? Most welcome, the two of you. Yeah. You and the lady next. Most welcome to come and talk here. So, let us be united, and it is time that we imposed cost on Pakistan. They cannot get away. And let us improve our own water management from the Indus River and the other rivers flowing in the north. So that does it answer my question. Secondly is the question of nuclear blackmail. First and foremost, how did Pakistan become a nuclear country? How did they manage to acquire nuclear technology? Can anyone answer? Simple words, like to take on? It is thanks to America that Pakistan acquired nuclear technology. There was an act passed in the Congress, US, saying that no aid will be given to Pakistan if it goes ahead with acquiring nuclear technology. And that was called the Pressler Amendment, wherein the President of Pakistan, the President of the United States was required to sign every time certifying that Pakistan is not on its way to acquire nuclear technology. Only after he signs that, US aid can be given to Pakistan. But every Pakistan president, the President of US, he ignored the Pressler Amendment and kept lying and signing the certificate. And that's how Pakistan acquired nuclear technology, of course clandestinely, from China, Korea, North Korea, and a few countries in the West. Having acquired their nuclear and developed nuclear bomb and later on nuclear missiles, every time they threaten us, we will use our nuclear missiles against you. So how long can that carry on? So I had said, if they fire one missile, we shall come down upon them very heavily. And if India fires its nuclear missiles, not one man, woman or child will survive in Pakistan. We are 1,400 million. We can still absorb 500 million deaths and still survive. But Pakistan will not. At the end of it, the whole of Pakistan from Karachi to Gilgit will be mounds of rubble and glass. So they also know that. But the point is, they would like to blackmail us. So, thanks to Op Sindoor, we have called their bluff. They know they cannot use their nuclear missiles to scare us. And if they do use their nuclear missiles foolishly, that will be the end of Pakistan. So, that is another great achievement of Operation Sindoor. When people say, what did we achieve? That's another achievement of Operation Sindoor, that we have called off their nuclear blackmail. Have I answered the question?
Yes. With that, I would like to thank Oxford Chairman SNVL Narasimha Raju sir, Dr. Bhuvaneshwari ma'am. That's all from me, but I'm sure many students, many faculty members have their questions, and I would like to open the floor to any questions from the audience.
Anyone? Yes, I have a question, then I'll pass it on to you. Sir, thank you very much for gracing this occasion and educating on each and every part of Operation Sindoor. I have one question to our Narendra Modi ji. Modi ji is trying to protect India from all the directions in all the forms. But he knows that USA is supporting Pakistan. So why he is not acting on that part? If he is acting, how is he acting? Because Pakistan is having strength of saying that they're going to them and asking them for a ceasefire. They are not ready to come to us. Why is this happening? Because USA is supporting Pakistan financially, giving them even some crores of rupees was given on the last day of the ceasefire, if I'm right. It was on 9th May. Even the amount of LMP was given to them for Pakistan. So why? All this money in the Pakistan is used only to create the terror, to encourage the terror. What is Modi ji doing for that? And second point is, inside India itself, we have lot of enemies for India. Hamara Bharat, we have to fight internally also because we have lot of people in India who are against India. So what action or what moves has to start in India, within us, among us who are all people here, to protect ourselves?
An excellent question posed by our Madam Principal. I mentioned it and I'd like to repeat it once again. Starting from America, France, Germany, England, all the Western countries, let me assure you, none of them are friends of India. We have yet not picked up the courage to tell US, कि buddy, Mr. Trump, gone are the days. Today you require us more than what we require it. The Americans are trying to be world policemen. They promise, but they cannot live up to their promise. Let's take the example of Taiwan. China claims Taiwan to be a part of its territory. So they say, either you surrender on your own or we shall attack you and take over. This is where America comes. On one side they say they believe in one China policy, and on the other side they encourage Taiwan to say, to remain not a part of China, and say, we will come to your aid. In case attacked, we will support you. So the Americans have got their American fleet in South China Sea and the Pacific. But only time will tell as to how the Americans are going to support China. In my own view, the day China attacks Taiwan, Americans are going to be mute spectators. They won't have any guts to take on China. So when it comes, but if at all, if they go to war with China on account of Taiwan, they want India's help. The only country which can act as a counterweight or counterbalance China is India with our army. So, and let me also assure you, in case of a China-India war, which will happen, if not today, soon. Not again, not because India wants to go to war with China, but China is on shaky grounds. To divert attention, it will definitely go in for a misadventure with India. So, when that happens, I can assure you, America will be nowhere near India to help India. So, we are not depending on Americans. It's only that, as of today, we want to keep things, we don't want to ruffle feathers. So, Modi is trying to keep US on the right side. He does not want to openly snub them and tell them that, Mr. Trump, you require us more than what we require you. So, we have to wait So these things in international relations, certain things, I don't say we have to lump, but we have to tolerate it. Have I answered your question, ma'am?
Very good morning, sir. First of all, thank you for your 33 years of service, which you have made us already proud. I am from a land of Coorg, where we have produced a lot of, the first field marshal is from my place, lot of journals we have given. In regarding to this Op Sindoor, sir, we already won 4 wars against Pakistan. We were already waiting for the 5th win. Little disappointment that we couldn't come up with a win. So now, my question to you, sir, Pakistan is already a failed state. It is already, the Pakistan media is already making a mockery of itself. But still, how Pakistan is managing to get the funds to terror operations, to make these operations very successful? That is my first question. And I think, madam, second question I'm adding to that. Within India only, after Operation Sindoor, we have got 6 people working for Pakistan, 6 spies, whoever it is. How are we tackling them, sir? And what is the major punishment that they can get? We are waiting for that. So these are the 2 questions that I would like to answer. I would like to question you.
Can you repeat your first question?
First question, sir, Pakistan is already a failed state. It is already, the economy is already down, the GDP is all, but still how are they managing to operate in this terror base? Where are they getting the funds from?
So if I could add one little thing. During this Operation Sindoor itself, IMF, International Monetary Fund, approved a loan of 1.5 billion. So 1 billion, and the way to access it is totally being controlled by IMF. How can such double standards still pass today?
We must understand the power balance in this world. Whether it is United Nations or one of its subsidiaries, so IMF, World Bank, all these are controlled by the US. The UN as a body is a toothless organization. So, the US does not stand for Dharma. US stands for UN. I mean, UN stands for, UN, both I would say, both US and UN does not stand for Dharma. So, the UN is controlled by the US because of the money it contributes to the UN. Jiski lathi, uski bhains. So, that being the case, next, we say, your question is, how is Pakistan able to survive? As long as you got US, they have still their own interest in Pakistan, and US in any case would not like to see the breakup of Pakistan. They would not like to see India succeeding and growing into a major part. So, the US, France, Germany and others, and not to forget China, they will do everything possible to prop up Pakistan. For China, Pakistan is the ideal country to prick India from time to time, to create problems, and China is very clear in its aim. They cannot tolerate India coming up economically and militarily. China would definitely like to see the breakup of India. And to start with, they would like to, they say, Arunachal Pradesh, they call it a South Tibet. And they are saying, you recognize whatever we are captured in Ladakh, we will now come to an agreement and say Arunachal Pradesh is yours. Ladakh portion was never theirs. Tibet was never theirs. I would put it that way. So, where does the boundary of China lie, if you can tell me that? China, where does its boundary lie? Which is the actual boundary of China?
Line of actual control?
No. I'm talking of actual boundary of China. So, where does it lie? Which is the actual boundary? Correct. My good friend Aravind has said, the Great Wall of China is the boundary of China. It was built to protect China, Chinese. All lands beyond the Great Wall of China are all annexations, which they are conquered lands, including Tibet. Tibet was never a part of China. So, but unfortunately, no Indian leader has ever got the dum to say, sorry, Mr. Xi Jinping, Tibet does not belong to you. So, for that I suppose we got to be a little more militarily strong. So no country can prosper or expect to be respected in the Committee of Nations till such time it's not militarily and economically strong. So the first question I've told you, these are the people who are propping up Pakistan and they would not like Pakistan to die. Your second question was regarding?
The perpetrators inside, sir.
Perpetrators. You must understand, the majority of our population are Hindus. And given our background, till date, we have no self-respect. Given money, we are willing to sell this country. So, having a few spies is no surprise. So you pay money and they are yours. So, and they will be exposed from time to time. And if you want to take action against them, the present system of our judicial system is not the time. So, spies must be caught, must be publicly executed within 72 hours. So, you are a citizen, raise your voice and say that. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
And if I may divert us slightly, it is rather shameful to read in the newspapers everywhere, all over the country, rape, rape, rape. I hang my head as a citizen in shame. The chap put behind bars, after 4 days he is let out on bail. So what sort of a judicial system? I say, this inquiry, investigation, everything must be over in 7 days' time. And that man should be hanged in public. Not only hanged, you must, in a chaurasta or a crossing, erect a beautiful platform, bring him there, put a noose round his neck, but down below, burn him, fire, let him shriek. Let that be seen by all the TV channels all over the world. He must shriek. Then I say, once you do that to one man, let me see any other case next day. No. So, in the army, as a colonel, I commanded 7,000 people. I had a sector of 1,000 kilometers. On one side Burma border, on the side Bangladesh. 7,000 people. How did I manage? My car, those days ambassadors, had a red light on top. And the moment I went, people would shiver seeing my car, let alone me. So we got to rule with a firm hand. And my powers were one signature, right up to the rank of a Havaldar, and even a JSO. I could dismiss them from service and put them behind bars for 1 year. So unless these are the powers vested in me. So if I don't want to use them, very bad. So if there is any case of any misdemeanor, any wrongdoing, it's my job to maintain discipline. So come down. I have to send people behind bars. And all that stopped. One punishment, everything stopped. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.